This ain't Cactus Club. This ain't the keg. This is my kitchen, and I hope you ready. Stay tuned. Now this meal does take quite long, so let's get right into it. The first thing I'm going to make is the marinade for the chicken breast. So I'm going to use half a tablespoon of lime juice, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, 1 tablespoon of soy sauce light, and half a tablespoon of Worcester sauce. So my juicer, it's a hand juicer that I have here, and it catches the seeds at the bottom. And when the juices go into the container, it actually has measurements on the side. So I don't have to go and get another spoon to measure it. So I'll show you when it drips in, just how I know exactly the measurement that I need. See? So that's my 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. So you can get this at Kitchen Stuff Plus. I think it was like $8. I'm going to leave a link in the description for anyone who wants to get it. It's really handy. Then I got my light soy sauce, not dark soy sauce, light soy sauce. My 1 tablespoon. Gonna fill that up, pour that in there. And the Worcester. Like, who even knows how to say this? Worcester sauce? Worcester sauce. I'm gonna say that. Worcester sauce. Half a tablespoon. I couldn't find my actual half a tablespoon, so we do it by eye. So now I'm just gonna go in and wash my chicken breast. I have some vinegar and water over here, and then I'm gonna strain it. And now I'm just gonna cut off the excess parts that I don't need. Cut that off. Okay, then you're going to put the 2 pieces of chicken breast in a clear plastic bag. For 1 serving, you're only going to use 1 piece of chicken breast, but I ended up making 2 because I just wanted an extra one. But yeah, so you're going to put it in a large Ziploc bag and make sure that it's kind of like flat because we're going to be pounding it. Oh, okay, so I thought I could do this with my hands, right? But the way my hands were hurting, I don't know what I thought this was. So I grabbed a potato masher. I don't have a meat tenderizer. Usually you would use a meat tenderizer, but I don't have one. So I just use a potato masher. And honestly, I don't need a meat tenderizer because chicken is softer than red meats. So a potato masher was fine. So you're basically gonna pound it so it's nice and flat like this. And you do this because when you're cooking it, it'll cook more evenly. So now I'm just gonna mix my marinade, and that marinade is gonna be poured into the bag with the chicken, and I'm gonna put this in the fridge to marinate.
This sounds
just nice and tightly sealed. And there you have it. Make sure you get it all over so it'll sit nicely in the fridge. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in and start one part of the process of making the Creole butter. So the Creole butter is that sauce that you get on top of the chicken. It's literally like butter with seasoning. But the first thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to measure out my butter. So this is half a cup of salted butter. Unsalted butter is whack. I don't have time for that. Like, no. I'm even now transitioning from margarine to butter, so it's very tough. But anyways, yeah, so I'm gonna pour it out into this bowl, and I'm not going to put it in the microwave to soften because I feel like you can't control the heat in the microwave. So you don't want it to be completely melted when you're adding the seasoning. You want it to soften on its own. So I'm gonna leave that on the counter, and you'll see later on when I start cooking, I put it on the stove so it melts. Now, the first thing I'm going to add to make the seasoning for the Creole butter is there is hot chili powder, brown sugar, cayenne pepper, dried thyme, garlic powder, and black pepper. I'm gonna use my mortar and pestle to mix it all up, to make sure it's all together, all mixed. And there you go. Now you'll see how the color is going to come through in the butter. So once it softens, then I add the seasoning to the butter. Now I'm going to peel my potatoes. I got some big, good sized potatoes. I'm only using 2 to make my mashed potatoes. And using a potato peeler, I'm just gonna peel the potatoes nice and clean. And once I'm done, I'm going to start cutting them. So please pay attention to how I cut these, because you want to cut them as evenly as possible so that they all the pieces of the potato cook properly. So don't have some big and some small. Try to cut them as evenly as possible. Once you are done cutting your potatoes, you're gonna run them under cold water about 3 times so you can get all the starch off. Now I'm gonna go in and cut up some chives for my mashed potatoes. Have I used chives before? I have never used chives in this life, but today we're gonna try. We're gonna do it. It wasn't until I made this meal that I realized how much goes into restaurant food. Wow. Now I'm gonna go in and cut up some garlic. So my trick for getting the shell off the garlic is I use the knife and put it flat on the clove and basically like smash it and it comes off, and then I cut the ends. Now let me tell you, this is not how I thought how to make garlic mashed potatoes, but we move. I'm gonna pour my olive oil into my hot frying pan. As you can see, you see the butter on the side? So it's melting. So yeah, so then I'm gonna drop my garlic cloves in there and basically you're gonna roast them until they're brown. And that's what you're gonna end up putting in the mashed potatoes. So they're cooking, they're sizzling. Just stir them around every once in a while because you don't want it to burn. But you do want it to be quite brown. So once I take them out, I'm going to slice them up. And the chives and the roasted garlic will be what I put into my mashed potatoes. The butter has been softened, so now I'm adding the seasoning, the Creole seasoning, to make the Creole butter. So I'm just gonna mix it up really well and make sure that it's nice and smooth. See that? You see that consistency? You see that texture? That's what you want. I'm just gonna cover it with some plastic wrap and put that in the fridge. Okay, now back to our chicken. This recipe is not easy. So first I'm gonna add my salt, paprika, onion powder, brown sugar, black pepper. I love black pepper. Try. Cayenne pepper. And ground oregano. Then I'm good. Again, I'm gonna go with my mortar and pestle so it's perfectly mixed together. And the reason why you do this is, you notice sometimes, especially when you add herbs, it's kind of like, it's you know? How do I say this in English even? Like, it's not all over it properly, but that way it's all over it. I had already brought my water to a boil, so now my potatoes are ready to go in, and they'll cook way faster this way since the water is already super hot.
Sounds amazing.
Now we're all done. We're gonna check to make sure they're cooked. Slice. They're done. Now I'm gonna use my potato masher. Honestly, I don't know where you can buy potato masher that's like this anymore, because the ones that they sell now don't look like this. Then I'm gonna go with about a cup of cream, half a cup of butter. You can use how much you want. That's how much I gauge that I would need to have it the perfect consistency. I didn't want it to be super creamy, still a little bit of texture to it. So yeah, adding my chives and my roasted garlic, and I'm just gonna go in and mash that up. A little bit more cream. So I hadn't put the full cup of cream in yet. So now I put the full cup of cream in. And that is heavy cream that I'm using. My hand got tired? Hey, my hand got tired. And there you have it. I'm adding my salt. I added just about a teaspoon of salt. Remember, I told you guys salt is to taste. There you have it, all done. So in order to keep my mashed potatoes hot, this is just a little trick. I use a kettle to pour my water to make sure it's super hot. And then I pour the water into a bigger pot and I put that pot inside of it. So that's gonna keep my mashed potatoes warm without having to use a microwave or anything. Because you know, sometimes when you put food in the microwave, I don't know, the taste changes. And I want it to be fresh and hot. So now we are ready to start cooking our blackened chicken. Again, I'm back with my coconut spray oil. I love it. You should get it. I got it from Fortino's. And now I'm just gonna rub the blackened seasoning into the marinated chicken breast. Look at that. Rub it in, rub it, okay? Give it some love, you know? Some TLC. Okay. Woo! And so if you watch carefully, you'll see that it's starting to shrink from when I pounded it, but that's good. It's a good thing because we know that it's going to be evenly cooked and properly cooked. You cannot be eating uncooked meats, okay? So do not be scared if you see that the chicken looks black, because what are we making? Blackened chicken. It does not mean that it's actually burnt. It's that the seasoning that we use are things that will burn to a certain degree, but not necessarily that the chicken is burnt. So just keep going. Keep cooking that chicken. We are done.
This sounds amazing.
Then I'm just gonna go in and cook some asparagus. I use olive oil and some Italian seasoning. So I was just showing you guys the butter, the Creole butter. Please do not forget to take out your Creole butter before this is finished. Otherwise, you'll be crying. Okay, time to dish out my food. Got my mashed potatoes first at the bottom. I be loving my carbs, so don't judge me. What, you thought I was gonna take one scoop? Because you're silly. You know how long it took me to make this food? I will chop. Then I'm gonna add my asparagus. Low key, I may have overcooked the asparagus, but we move. I added my blackened chicken. Does this look familiar? I think so. I'm gonna use an ice cream scoop so I can get the scoop nice and perfect. So the thing is, yeah, so my butter wasn't softened enough, but the heat will make it melt. Look at that. Cactus who? Cactus who? You won't see us anymore. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you later. Bye.